by Thad Pipe, and we couldn't exist without it. It's also a pleasure to acknowledge Deanna with Dry Heat Photography, always making us look good on Facebook. Miriam with More Than Organized, organizing your stuff, your thoughts, and providing creamer. Foundation for Sustainable Living. I don't see Franklin here today, but he provides the coffee. Beyond Energy, if caffeine, the original performance-enhancing drug, is insufficient. Talk to Steve about Beyond Energy. Noventum Custom Software, providing donuts and also software that doesn't suck. And Minuteman Press for all your ink on paper needs. So thanks again to all our sponsors. And who's the coach? Danielle. Both things are yours.
Good morning, everybody. I am very excited to introduce an update from our presenter today. Today we have Shayla Lucero with the Light Event Planning Company. Come on in.
Good morning. It has been a while since I've been here, so thank you for welcoming me back. I'll just go. Am I ready? So my company is the Light Event Planning. I presented back in March, maybe? It's been a while, and I have not been coming up consistently since then, but it's been good. Before I get into my business, I want to tell you a little bit about myself. I am a dog mom, that's my baby, so I'm an animal lover. I'm a native New Mexican, representing the beautiful Espanola Valley, and I'm a Christian, which ended up being a bigger part of my business journey than I thought I would be. The Light Event Planning is a... Speak into the mic, Thank you. The Light Event Planning is a full-service event management company. I prioritize personalized service through personalized high-quality service to ensure your event success. I started my business back in November of 2022, which means, it's my birthday! I've been in business for 2 years! I did not think that was something even a year ago that I would be able to say. So a recap from the last time, what is an event management company? I get this question a lot. A lot of times when I tell people I'm an event manager, I get, oh, I'm planning a wedding, or oh, I have a baby shower, which is great. Those are great events. But I go a little bit beyond just party planning. I will be your strategic partner, help you from the moment you think, hey, maybe an event is good for my brand, all the way to the event itself. So even if it's your 5th annual event to your first time, I'll be helping you guide the process of what you want to do, your goals, your objectives, and make sure they align strategically throughout the planning process. I'll help you find your vendors, your venue, and help you organize your program and flow so everything makes sense and all goes back to your goals of your event. And I'll help you, again, market yourself, because an event idea is great, but you need people to come. I'll also be your project manager, managing your timeline and budget, especially if you've never planned an event before. Timelines and budget is crucial. Also, a lot of people don't know how many material goes into an event: pop-up banners, table throws, digital signage, little cue cards, all of that. I'll help you organize what you need and order it and get it shipped on time. For trade shows, I'll also coordinate shipping and receiving of large trade show material. And I'll be your on-site manager. So the first point of contact on-site, if you need anything, if anything comes up, all your vendors and staff should know to contact me or my team if any issues arise. My areas of expertise are conference planning, anything from 200 to 2,000 people, usually having multiple components like breakout sessions, general sessions. I also do virtual hybrid meetings and events, production, trainings and workshop development and coordination. And for the social side, I do galas and fundraising events. And for small businesses, I offer consulting services if you just need a little bit of help getting started. Some of my past clients, my first clients were the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. I worked on their antimicrobial resistance webinar series for about 4 years during COVID. And I also got to do a co-sponsored event with the CDC and the FDA on antimicrobial resistance. I also worked with the DoD with their civilian sector, doing a 4-week-long training for their civilian leaders in all different branches of the DoD. Most of these civilian leaders went on to get promotions within their organization. So it was a really great program and a lot of benefit from that. So that was where I've been. That was a recap of what I presented last time if you were here. So what's new? Busy with business, which is not a broad problem to have when you're an entrepreneur and you're growing. I have 2 long-term clients that I'll talk to you about. But with being so busy with business, my branding for my company has sort of fallen to the back end. So to help with that, I hired a social media intern. She's great. She's based out of Las Cruces. She's getting her master's in graphic design. So she is handling and reinvigorating all of my social media. And then I also hired a consulting firm. They specialize in government contracts. So government contracts are very long process to get. So they help me sort of narrow down my scope and see what would be most beneficial for me to target rather than trying to target everything. So they put together a pipeline of about 12 opportunities for the next 2 years that I can look at bidding and how I'm going to target those opportunities. And continue to learn. If it's not business growth and learning, I don't know what it is. Learning how to write RFPs, respond to contracts, being very specific in the contracts that I do have regarding the scope of work. It was a big learning lesson. And setting my rates. Some contracts I've bid for, I've been too high, some I've been too low. So learning what rates are best for me has been a great learning lesson. So my 2 clients, first, my long-term client is Medscape Live. They specialize in medical events throughout the country. Personally, I do dermatology and ophthalmology events. And then locally, I am working with Exhibit on their B2B Expo. It is the 15th annual B2B Expo that Exhibit has hosted. They got a new owner last year, so they brought me on to reimagine this event. So I'll tell you a little bit more. It is January 15th here in Albuquerque, downtown at the Convention Center. We have an amazing speaker lineup, and it's geared towards small businesses, which is why I wanted to tell you all about it and invite you. We have a marketing miss panel with speakers from all across the state. Leah from Las Cruces. We have a couple of speakers from Albuquerque, a couple from Santa Fe, all in different areas of marketing. We also have a panel discussion on New Mexico economic development, specialized from all of the different industries in New Mexico. So hospitality, New Mexico Film Office, New Mexico State Port, and Los Alamos National Labs will be speaking on that. All to give small businesses the opportunity to learn how they can take advantage of the economic growth that these industries are seeing. And we also have small business booths available. So instead of a large booth space that you might not have the material to fill it, we have a $300 tabletop if you're interested. And that's where I've been. That's what I'm currently doing. Where I'm going, my future clients, I'm going to continue working with Medscape Live on medical events, hopefully get some government contracts to focus on local business, and as always, open to new opportunities wherever they may be. And that is how to get a hold of me.
All right, so if we want to come up and ask questions or offer any feedback, again, try to use the mic as close to our mouths as possible.
Thank you.
Reminders, yes. I want to start with a question for you.
Yeah.
How did you get your business name?
It is from the name Lucero. Literally translates, the root word in Spanish is la luz, the light. So that was one. It's also from a Bible verse, Matthew 5:16. I won't recite it for you, but you can look it up.
Take questions online too if anybody has any.
Hi. Hello. Switch. Like, I don't know.
Miriam Ortiz-Pino, More Than Organized. You mentioned problems figuring out the right pricing sweet spot. What have you done to figure that out?
Yeah, I've learned, because I work a lot with the East Coast with my medical events, The East Coast can pay a lot more than New Mexico businesses. So I've learned to have sort of New Mexico pricing and non-New Mexico pricing. So if I try to quote someone here how much I would charge a company out east, it is a lot different.
Do you see that as a problem for the future, that we keep undercutting ourselves?
Yes. And another event I'm working on is Latina Equal Pay Day tomorrow at the Hispano Center. So everyone should go learn about pricing. But yes, especially if I want to continue government work, it will hinder that because I have to submit a huge sheet of what I charge to the government, and the government wants the lowest rate. So gotta still be competitive.
Yeah. Along those lines, I know I've had conversations with several people in the room. It's important to figure out where you're comfortable in between those two,
Yeah.
so we can start raising people up instead of coming down.
Yeah.
All right, thanks. I love your idea.
Thank you.
Hey Sheila,
Hi.
Lisa Atkins with Baptiste. How did you start doing event planning for the government and finding these contracts? I think that's a really unique way to do an event planning business, and I think it's cool. So tell us how you do it.
How you thought of doing it?
So I started as an employee for a marketing agency that specialized in public health marketing. So they worked with state and local governments. When COVID started, the CDC obviously could not do in-person events. They were the ones telling us to stay at home. So the CDC put out a bid, which my company picked up. I was the only event planner on staff, so they just threw me into working with the CDC. Once their contract ended, I loved working with them. They liked working with me, so I just followed the contract and continued building from there.
How do you find your RFPs to respond?
SAM.gov. That's where most of them are. And then the consulting firm that I hired took all of them. There's like GSA, there's bid.net, there's a ton of websites that you can find contracts. They took all of them for me and put them on the list because it's a lot.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I remember when you presented before, and it's great to see what you're up to now. Because I think back then you weren't even really sure how to do any of this.
Yes.
So one of the things that's coming up for me is I've got a daughter having a baby, and the mother-in-law, her mother-in-law has asked me to help her organize
Yeah.
this event that's in Chicago, and I'm here. It's like, where do I even start? So what resources? I know you say, oh yeah, wedding showers, baby showers, so and so and so. What's a resource that somebody that's like knows nothing about how to plan something, where would I go? What would you suggest? You'd like a flyer or something?
Yeah. The Convention and Visitors Bureau in your city. So Visit Albuquerque is a great resource. I just did a bid in Las Cruces and I called up their Convention and Visitors Bureau. They know all the specs, they already have the information for you, so you don't have to do the searching.
So tell me more about that. I don't have to do the searching for what?
For a venue, for caterers, they have most of the information and resources for you. Even when I source contracts for like the larger medical events, I go through the Visitors Bureau.
I guess I was looking at something on a much smaller scale, like 10 points if you're planning a baby shower. Do this, don't do that. You know, do you have anything like that that you can refer me to?
Yeah, I mean, just know, start with your guest list and get your head count. But I don't have any printed like documents yet or anything like that.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Good to see you. Congratulations on your success.
Thank you.
Oh, good to you.
Thank you.
I would suggest like 1 million cups in that city, simply one by.
Oh, yeah.
Leverage 1 million cups. So you actually gave me a bid for Santa Fe Fashion Week a while back. I appreciate that. And it's interesting. So what we're talking about East Coast and then New Mexico, I did a fashion event for a rah-rah meeting out of New York, and they cut me a check out of New York, like so much bigger than I'd ever get here in Albuquerque. But with that said, my referral came from an event planner in Santa Fe that came from a hotel there. So the hotel can only do planning inside the hotel, and anything that happens beyond the hotel, they bring in an outside person like yourself.
Right.
So have you reached out to any of the local hotels up here or in Santa Fe as far as networking with those people?
Yeah, I of work with Visit Albuquerque, so I go to a lot of their networking events with Heritage Hotels. But they like to keep a lot of their stuff in-house, it seems. So I'm working on it, but haven't really gotten any solid leads or contracts from them yet.
Cool. It's good to see you again.
Yeah, thank you. Ken?
What's up? Ken Jackson, City of Albuquerque Small Business Office, Raising the Bar podcast. So, something you said was very key, and you used the word narrowing it down. So, many business owners feel that their product or service is for everyone. And those who've had a conversation with me know that it's not.
Yeah.
You said narrow it down. Can you give our business owners 3 key factors that you use to determine your best clientele for what you do?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Yes, like a year ago when I first presented, I was I can do anything. Like I'll do the wedding and the baby shower, whatever. But I really had to get specific in my target audience and narrow down my search. I don't advertise weddings anymore. Sometimes I still get inquiries, and if they're the right time, I'll take some of them. But it was really, I'm good at medical events. I have the experience with the CDC, and that's what people are looking for. So I leaned into medical events, and then knowing budgets of the state, unfortunately, I know which contracts to bid for versus which not to. So that was a very almost not destructive answer, but I hope that helped.
No, it still. So when it comes to budget, how were you able to determine the budget in which you were seeking compared to kind of your goals and what the revenue is of the organizations that you're going after? Was there a specific amount, or was there a window?
Luckily with government contracts, you can see if they have someone who's had that contract before, you can go in and see what their budget was for past contracts. So you can have sort of a baseline, and that's what I use. If their baseline is $100,000 for an event, I can use that and say, okay, well, I'm going to increase it by 5%.
There you go. Okay, thank you very much.
Hi,
Hello.
Clifton Chadwick, Comunicaciones Cocopelli. And I don't know if I'm using the term, I don't know if anybody uses the term white paper anymore. Do we have white papers anymore? And so a white paper is where you put together a thing that says, here's how to do it. And usually they're designed to make it look really, really hard so that people understand. So anyway, based on Barbara's question, you might put together some kind of thing like that that keeps people from bothering you, and then also helps you qualify and helps people understand what they're gonna, anyway, and then it's also a thing that you can give away free, right?
Yeah.
On your website?
Yeah, that is a good idea, and my intern actually suggested that too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sheila, have you ever worked with organizations like the New Mexico Technology Council? I know they have 2 big events. They have a small staff. They might be willing to outsource help. They're right here. I can help make a contact with them, but I would look at organizations like that who do have key big events and may not necessarily have the staff on site to help pull it off. I bet you Mia could use some help.
Yeah, that would be great, thank you.
Danielle again with Conscious Crossroads End of Life Services. So I'm curious how you found your intern, and can you give us more about this consulting firm? Because I'll be completely honest, as a small business person, I hear consulting firm, and most of the time I want to run away because they're going to charge me a bajillion dollars to just give me a list of things to do.
Yeah.
So tell me how that process went, how you found them, and all of that.
So my intern, I found her on LinkedIn. I didn't narrow my search for LinkedIn, so it was open remotely, which opened the door for a lot of candidates. I chose someone in New Mexico just because time zones are easier, and she was great. So she's only working until January, and then going on to full-time work after that. But she's been great, and LinkedIn offers 30 days free for your job posting. And what's the second question?
The consulting firm.
Oh, the government consulting firm. I did a lot of interviews for different consulting agencies because, like you said, one of them wanted to charge me like $5,000 a month for I don't even know what. Like their services were not clear. They're like, oh yeah, we'll look out for contracts for you. I'm like, no, I'm not paying $5,000 a month for that. So this company I went with did a package deal where they put together the pipeline for 2 years instead of, month to month. They gave me what they found for the next 2 years, and then they helped me target exactly who to contact in the organization. So they gave me contact information. And if they were some of the contracts are outside of my scope, then I'm too small for them. They gave me contacts for the prime contractor so I can be a subcontractor. Hello.
Thank you so much. I love your coat.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask, you do live events and you do online events, and
Yes.
there's a big difference between live event and an online event.
Yes.
What is the platform that you use for the online events?
It all depends. With the CDC, we use Zoom Government because it had to be secure and WebEx wasn't available to anyone. So we had to find a secure enough platform that could accommodate government security plus be accessible to anyone. Woova is a really good one for virtual events. Yeah, a lot of them came up during COVID and they were fine, but they have a really good software. But there's a ton of virtual event platforms out there, so it's hard to find the best one. But Zoom has been working good. Oh, thank you. Anybody else?
You did such a great job with your presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you. So last couple questions. Number one, the New Mexico State question. Red or green?
Red.
That was very definitive.
Yeah.
Marianne, we all love you.
Thank you.
You got Miriam's approval. And then what's the one thing that this community can do for you today?
I would say helping me, honestly, the B2B Expo has been one of my challenges. So if you can spread the word about that event or attend, that would be amazing.
Who's the new owner? I'm curious.
Her name is Georgia Frank Tan. She was a native New Mexican, and then she moved out of state to New York for a while and came back.